Tati.
Ha?
Yang nanti waktu Azira tu Zati
Cakap je moderator.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Assalamualaikum and a very good day I wish to all of you. Welcome to our forum for this week. As well we know, pandemic COVID-19 is a current big issue, which enable you to think about the topic that we had highlighted, and we are trying to solve the issue together by sharing beneficial and interesting idea, which will be delivered by our guests. Today, we would like to highlight a topic that is quite interesting to be discussed on effect of pandemic on our education, good or bad. I'm sure that every one of us has our own opinion and thought with this topic. Before we proceed to our forum, I would like to introduce our panelists today. Our first panelist is Dr. Zulaika, President of National Union of the Teaching Profession. How are you today, Doctor?
I'm good and glad to be here this morning.
Okay. Next to her is our specially panel 2, Dr. Ain, Vice President of Women, Family and Community Development. And last one is Professor Auni, Professor of Management in Department Education, HUKM. Before we start our forum in detail, let me explain about our topic today. The COVID-19 crisis is exacerbating this learning crisis. As many as 94% of children across the world have been out of school due to closure. Learning losses from school shutdown are further compounded by inequity, particularly for students who were already left behind by education system. Many countries and schools have shifted to online learning during school closure as a stopgap measure. There is some disagreement on online learning, so much so that some say there are more disadvantages than advantages to education system during this pandemic. Without wasting time, let's hear the opinion on our title from the first inviter, panel 1.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Moderator. This pandemic caused shutdowns of education system and thus creating the largest impact on students, approximately 94% of total students around the world. When discussing the positive impact of pandemic, one thing that comes into mind is integration of technology into education system. Education and technology always come together, but with the pandemic it took new level. Although this can be seen as forced transition, but at the time only feasible solution. However, integration of new technology into education does not mean that it will improve interaction between teacher and student, meaning that teacher will deliver material better and student will receive it and fully understand. New technology provides more possibilities for both teacher and students, but only when it used correct. That's all. I pass back to our moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zulaika. From your explanation, you strongly agree that online learning is good for our young generation. Let's move Prof. Audi. What is your opinion?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all the panelists. So based on today's topic, I can direct state that pandemic is giving back effect toward education. And I absolutely not agree in this online learning. The sudden shift to online learning due to pandemic, which is without any planning, especially in our country, can lead to a lot of negative effect. Today, I am going to share a few of it, such as it can lead to passive learning and risk of lagging behind academically by student. There is a point where we get from a view from student. However, as we won't believe, there are also bad effects that had been facing by our teaching staff, such as unprepared teachers for online education and the changing format of student requirement. Thank you. I totally not agree with this online learning during this pandemic. I passing back our discussion to you, Ms. Moderator.
Thank you, Prof. Avni. That was a great point to be said. What can I say? The benefit that I can see from students are they able to learn faster during online. They can learn at their own pace, rereading or skipping through the subject as they choose. There is also evidence that learning online can be more effective in a number of ways. Research suggests that online learning increases retention of information and also takes less time. On average, students retain between 25% and 60% more material when learning online compared to only 8% to 10% in a classroom setting. So, Dr. Ain, what about you? Point of view from our topic today.
Thank you, Miss Moderator. Sorry, Moderator. I can't be angry with your opinion. For me, I can see a lot of disadvantage of online learning. One of it is lack of interaction you will get with classmate and instructor. For example, in the class, students have a chance to speak in a class presentation and discussion and But in then verbal communication. Nonverbal communication is also known as body language, which refer to, among other things, gesture people make while speaking, eye contact, and the way they stand. In online learning, students just can communicate as actual word. That's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. Ain. That was a great point to be said. So, all panelists, is there any opinion want to add?
Thank you, Miss Moderator. I have a few points to support my opinion earlier. Online learning is other option for students to improve their knowledge. But for your information, other than president of teacher committee, I am also lecturer. I also encourage my students to learn English by online. For instance, I suggest them to surf my Line E website. For your information, this website provides additional resources for learning English for academic and professional purposes. Besides that, it does also provide a platform for self-access interactive learning. The learning process will be more attractive and interesting instead of learning in class. There are many activities provided in the website. The most attracted me is the student forum site. This is a place for sharing of experience and ideas as a students in a university. They can express their view and opinions on academic and non-academic issues, seek assistance, or they can communicate with other fellow students. I believe that this is one of effective ways of learning, but yes, there will be pros and cons. It depends on the student to decide. Thank you so much. To you back, Miss Moderator.
Thank you, Dr. Zulaika. For my conclusion, there was another benefit we can get such as parents become more engaged with their children's education and had a better understanding of their learning level. Besides, the mindset of students has changed drastically over the past 1 year. A recent global student survey revealed that 78% of tertiary students in Malaysia will prefer online learning to conventional face-to-face season if it means cheaper fee. A similar trend is also observed in other countries. For example, preference of online learning is 83% in Canada and 78% in China. We move we move to our last two panelists, Prof. Avni and Dr. Ain. Anything both of you want to conclude from your opinion yearly?
Okay, thank you, Miss Moderator. I would like to add the last point of view on why I am 100% saying that pandemic are giving back effect to our education. The point is a sluggish financial issue of student and the exaggerating socioeconomic difference. Why I am saying this is because not all of our Malaysian students are capable to our or on laptop or even smartphone for them to access this online learning that being accurate due to pandemic effect toward education. Since as we all know that since pandemic, all education are based on online learning. Okay, let's say at this current technology era, all of our Malaysian students do have their own gadget. But don't forget about internet connection, which is we all know that we need to allocate some amount of money in accessing and having the data connection. As one research that has been conducted in UMP, there are 70% students that are affected with this financial issue. That internet access and stability of teaching and learning platform are one of negative or the problem of emotion management and also holistic assessments. That's all from me for today. Thank you.
I am totally agree with Prof. Auni. I'm sorry, Prof. Zuleka. Sorry. Most negative influence from pandemic reached this country and student where poverty is a major issue. It is agreeable that in one place pandemic pushed technology usage into the next level, whereas in other the absence of such technology put the pause the whole educational system. The term of distant learning can be easily comprehended, but in reality it is more complex. It requires appropriate software package, stable internet. Lastly, in order to succeed at online learning, you have to have some specific skill. You have to be self-motivated, responsible for your own learning, and have good time management skill. If you don't have the skill, traditional classes may be a better choice for you. Thank you.
Thank you to all our panelists today. Finally, we have come to the end of our forum where we have shared a lot of knowledge which we don't even know or thought before well. From what all our panelists shared just now, there are good and also bad effects of COVID-19 pandemic on education. So, it is everyone's right to choose on how to deal with it. Before we end our forum today, I would like to open up a few moments for question and ask season.
How will the school follow up with the students who cannot attend the class?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Fatin. Almost all online classes require students to respond and communicate with their peers in discussion board or forum. The board usually contains questions that pertain to the weekly topic. Students post a specific number of responses and/or their responses must be specific, length for credit and attendance. Here are some strategies how to follow up with students who cannot attend class during online learning. First, you can class recording can be passed to the absent student. Second, schedule one one time. Third, connect with student via email and messaging. 4, communicate with student direct about their problems.
What do you see as the challenge involved in ODL?
Thank you, Ms. Lisa. So the answer of this question is back to all the points that I had started earlier. Before which is passive ODL by student. Second, unprepared teaching staff for reading ODL. Third, internet access and stability of teaching and learning platform. And lastly is holistic assessment.
How do you ensure the quality of online course?
Thank you for a good question. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a major effect on our life. It is natural to feel stress, anxiety, grief, and worry during the COVID-19. And then here are some strategies that can be used during these challenging times to protect student mental health. First, take care of your physical health. Second, ask for professional help if you feel like it. 3. Take a break from social media. 4. Find new ways to connect with friends.
There are several ways to ensure online course quality, but the most important is communication. Communication is obviously the basic element of an online classroom. The teacher should communicate with their student, and students should be able to respond. Online classes using video conference, discussion forum, mail and message box are the usual tool for communication. But make sure from time to time that these all are working properly, so no student will left out. That's all for today. I will end our forum discussion with thanks to all of panelists and audience. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.